The Ugbede market hummed with its usual late afternoon energy. Women haggling over yams, children darting between stalls, the smell of roasted groundnuts mixing with dust and sweat. Martha moved slowly through the crowd, her wrapper tied firmly at her waist, a woven basket balanced on her arm. Her joints ached more these days, but she knew which vendors sold the freshest tomatoes, which ones would give an old woman a fair price. She was examining a pile of okra when she heard the voices.
They said the whole village was burned. Okaba. Everything.
Martha's hands stilled over the vegetables.
Fulani herdsmen. They came at night, burned the farms first, then the huts, shot anyone who ran. They said they took the women, young ones, old ones, even the pastor's wife.
Martha felt her stomach turn. She paid quickly for her okra and moved away, but the voices followed her through the market like smoke.
They found bodies in the morning. The church was still burning. They raped them all, even the grandmother who could barely walk.
The basket felt suddenly heavy in her hands. She bought her gari and dried fish mechanically, barely hearing the vendors' greetings. The sun was still bright overhead, but the market seemed darker somehow, the laughter of children sharper, more fragile. By the time she reached her compound on the edge of Ugbede, her legs were trembling. She set down her basket and lowered herself onto the wooden stool outside her hut, breathing hard. Her 3 sheep bleated from their pen, and she found comfort in the ordinary sound. That night, after she had eaten her small meal of gari and soup, Martha sat outside her hut as she always did. The sky was vast and clear, scattered with salt spilled across black cloth. The air had cooled, and somewhere in the distance she could hear singing from the church, evening prayers. She thought of Okaba. She had been there once, years ago, when her husband was still alive, a small village much like Ugbede. Good people, Christian people.
Lord, have mercy on them. Comfort those who are suffering.
But even as she prayed, she felt a guilty warmth in her chest. Gratitude. Terrible things were happening in other villages, yes, but not here, not in Ugbede. Here the night was peaceful. Here her hut stood solid. Her sheep were safe. Her neighbors slept soundly.
Thank you, Father. At least it's not Ugbede. There's a major police station nearby. They dare not enter Ugbede. If the police fails, there's vigilante. Ugbede is safe. Oh, thank God that Ugbede is safe.
She sat there for a long time, wrapped in her old shawl, listening to the night sounds. Crickets, the rustle of wind in the trees, a dog barking somewhere far away. Eventually, her eyes grew heavy, and she went inside, lay down on her mat, and fell asleep to the familiar creaking of her hut's wooden frame. The screaming woke her. For a moment, Martha lay confused in the darkness, her heart pounding, unsure if she was dreaming. Then she smelled it. Smoke, acrid and thick. Orange light flickered through the gaps in her walls. She sat up, and the world exploded into chaos. Fire! Her hut was on fire! flames licked up one wall, spreading fast across the dried grass of her roof. The heat hit her like a physical blow, and she scrambled to her feet, coughing. Outside, the screaming continued. Gunshots cracked through the night.
Please, no!
Martha grabbed her sleeping mat, the rattan one her mother had woven decades ago, and beat at the flames. The fire consumed it instantly, and she dropped it with a cry, her hands stinging. Smoke filled her lungs. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The roof groaned above her. She ran. She burst through her door just as part of the roof collapsed behind her, sending up a shower of sparks. The night air hit her face, but there was no relief. The whole village was burning. Huts blazed like torches. People ran in every direction, silhouettes against the flames. A man lay motionless in the dirt. A child wailed alone. Martha's sheep had broken through their pen and were scattering into the darkness, bleating in terror. She took a step toward them, then stopped. More gunshots, closer now. She turned and ran. Her lungs burned. Her eyes streamed from the smoke. Something sharp cut her foot, but she didn't stop. Behind her, someone screamed, a sound that would live in her nightmares, a sound that was abruptly cut short. The forest loomed ahead, a wall of darkness beyond the burning village. Martha ran toward it, her old legs pumping, her breath coming in ragged gasps. A bullet whined past her head. She didn't look back. The darkness swallowed her whole. The forest floor was treacherous, roots and rocks and hidden holes. Martha ran blindly, branches whipping her face, thorns tearing at her wrapper. She tripped and fell hard, her palms scraping against rough bark, her knees slamming into stone. Pain shot through her legs, but fear was stronger. She got up and ran. Behind her, the orange glow of Ugbede lit the sky. The gunshots were more distant now, but she could still hear screaming. She ran deeper into the forest, away from everything she had ever known, into a darkness so complete she couldn't see her own hands. Time became meaningless. She ran until her legs gave out, until her lungs felt like they would burst, until she couldn't take another step. She collapsed against a tree, sliding down its trunk, her whole body shaking. Only then did she let herself sob, great heaving sobs that tore from her chest. Her home was gone, her sheep scattered or dead. Her neighbors, oh God, her neighbors. Mrs. Ocholi, who sold her tomatoes, young Emmanuel, who helped her carry water, Pastor James and his wife, all of it gone, burning. She pressed her hands against her face, trying to muffle the sounds of her grief, and that's when she heard it, a low growl. Martha froze, her sobs caught in her throat. Slowly, very slowly, she lowered her hands and looked up. Two eyes gleamed in the darkness, reflecting some distant light. The growl came again, deeper this time, and she saw the shape of it, large, low to the ground, moving toward her. A hyena or a wild dog, she couldn't tell. Her hand flew to her mouth, stifling the whimper that tried to escape. Her whole body went rigid. The beast moved closer, and she could smell it now, rank, feral. It growled again, and she saw its teeth. Don't move, don't breathe, don't. The beast took another step. Martha's hand, still pressed against her mouth, slowly lowered. Her eyes darted around the darkness. There, a branch, a large one, fallen from the tree above her. Her fingers closed around it, and she felt its weight, solid, heavy. The beast lunged. Martha swung. The impact jarred her arms, sent pain shooting through her shoulders, but she didn't stop. She swung again and again, screaming now, all her terror and rage and grief pouring out in each blow. The beast yelped, tried to retreat, but she followed, bringing the branch down with all the strength her old body could muster. It fell, twitched, went still. Martha stood over it, the branch still raised, her chest heaving. For a long moment she didn't move, couldn't move. Then the branch slipped from her fingers and she collapsed to the ground, her whole body convulsing with sobs and tremors. Every sound made her jump. The rustle of leaves, the crack of a twig, the distant call of a night bird. She curled into herself, arms wrapped around her knees, rocking back and forth. Gradually, she became aware of a warmth between her legs, a wetness, the sharp smell of urine. She had soiled herself. Shame flooded through her, hot and bitter. She was an old woman lying in the dirt, covered in blood and smoke in her own waste. But even as the shame came, another part of her mind, the part that had survived 70 years of life's hardships, pushed it aside. No time for shame. Keep moving. She forced herself to stand. Her legs shook, but they held. She left the dead beast behind and stumbled forward through the darkness, one hand outstretched, feeling her way. She didn't know how long she walked, hours maybe. The forest seemed endless, but then through the trees she saw a shape, square, man-made, a hut, unfinished, no door, no roof, just 4 walls of mud brick, but it was shelter. Martha crawled inside and collapsed in the corner, pulling her knees to her chest. The night air was cold now, and she was shivering, but she was too exhausted to care. She closed her eyes and waited for dawn. In the darkness of the unfinished hut, Martha's mind wandered. Her telephone, the small Nokia that Ugbede had given her 3 years ago, teaching her patiently how to use it.
Just press the green button, Mama. See? Then you can talk to me anytime.
It had been her lifeline to her children. Ugbede in Abuja, Ochanya in Lagos, both of them building lives in the city, sending money when they could, calling every Sunday after church. The phone was in her hut, or what was left of her hut. Melted, probably, destroyed. How would they find her now? How would they know she was alive? She imagined Ugbede calling on Sunday, the phone ringing and ringing in the ashes. He would worry. He would call Pastor James, but Pastor James, she didn't know if Pastor James was alive. He would call, and no one would answer, and he would know something terrible had happened. Her children would think she was dead. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks, cutting tracks through the soot and dirt on her face. She wrapped her arms tighter around herself, trying to find warmth, trying to find comfort. She thought of her husband, Idoko, dead these 8 years now, buried in the churchyard in Angpa, or what used to be the churchyard. Was his grave burning too? Idoko would have known what to do. He had always been the strong one, the protector. When the rains failed and the crops died, he had found work in the next village. When thieves came in the night, he had chased them away with his machete. When she was sick with malaria and thought she would die, he had carried her on his back to the clinic in town.
I wish you were here. I wish you could protect me now. I'm so afraid, Idoko. I'm so afraid.
But Idoko was gone, and she was alone. An old woman in a ruined hut, covered in filth, with nothing but the wrapper on her back and the faith in her heart. Was that enough? Was faith enough when everything else was taken away? She didn't know. She was too tired to know. Martha rocked herself slowly, back and forth, the way her mother had rocked her when she was a child and the world seemed too big and frightening. She hummed tunelessly, a lullaby she had sung to her own children, then to her grandchildren. The humming turned to prayer, half-formed words tumbling from her lips.
Jesus, help me. Don't leave me, please.
Eventually, exhaustion won. Her eyes closed. Her body slumped against the mud wall. And despite everything, the terror, the grief, the pain, sleep came.
She was in the old church, not the new one in Angba with its cement walls and tin roof, but the old one from her childhood. The wooden benches were still smooth, walls of mud brick, whitewashed but not crumbling, the smell of dust and old hymnals. Her father stood at the front, Baba. He had been dead for 30 years, but here he was, exactly as she remembered him. Tall and thin, his hair just with few hints of silver, his voice strong and clear.
The grain of wheat. Jesus tells us, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds.
Martha sat in the front row, young again, her legs swinging above the floor. She could see the newly crafted wooden cross on the wall behind her father, could hear the rustle of other people in the church.
Jesus was that grain of wheat. He fell to the ground. He died, not just for the people in Jerusalem, not just for the Romans or the Jews, but for everyone, for us here in Africa, for you, my daughter, so that we could know God's love.
He stepped down from the platform, moving closer to her. His face was kind, lined with age and wisdom.
This is the way of the cross. Before glory, there is suffering. Before the harvest, the seed must die. Before resurrection, there is the tomb.
But Baba, why must there be suffering? Why can't there just be glory?
Because, my daughter, it is through suffering that love is proven. Anyone can love when times are easy, but to love when it costs you everything, that is the love of Christ. That is the love that changes the world. You are a grain of wheat too, Martha. You have fallen to the ground. You have died to everything you knew. But this is not the end. This is not meaningless. Your suffering is not in vain.
What does it mean, Baba?
It means that from your suffering, a harvest will come. A harvest of love. A harvest of faith. A harvest that will feed others who are hungry. Do you understand?
Yes, Baba.
Good. Now wake up, my daughter. Wake up and live. Your work is not finished. Wake up, Martha.
Ruan samaya tuna matadabaya Girman Martha Amfanin gona ya amsakuka Girman Martha Angirbe hawaye an mayarda dariya Girman Martha Yarada mata suna kiran suna Tararogo da dawa Wakwa achikin tabar mata soho Hayaniyar tsuntsaye a gefen gwa Idona ta cike da gode Shiru yayi zafi Girman Martha Amfanin gona ya amsa kuka Girman Martha An girbe hawaye an mayar da dariya Girman Martha Yarada mata suna kiran suna Girman Martha Abakin mo harabada.
Dawn was breaking when Martha opened her eyes. Gray light filtered through the doorway of the unfinished hut, and she could hear birds beginning their morning songs. For a moment she lay still, remembering the dream. Her father's words echoed in her mind. Your work is not finished. But what work? She was an old woman with nothing. No home, no possessions, no way to contact her children. What work could she possibly do? Still, something in the dream had given her strength. She pushed herself up, wincing at the pain in her joints, the cuts and bruises that covered her body. Her wrapper was torn and filthy, stained with blood and dirt and worse. But she was alive. She stepped out of the hut into the cool morning air. The forest around her was peaceful, beautiful even. Mist hung between the trees, and the light was soft and golden. If she didn't know better, she might think the world was at peace. She began to walk, not knowing where she was going, only knowing she had to move forward. She had been walking for perhaps an hour when she heard it, a soft whimpering sound, like an injured animal. She stopped, listening. There it was again, coming from behind a cluster of bushes. Martha pushed through the undergrowth and found her. A girl, young, perhaps 4 or 5. She lay on her side, her hijab torn and dirty, her leg twisted at an odd angle. Blood stained her dress. When she saw Martha, her eyes widened with fear.
Tang Allah, yakuri.
Martha's heart clenched. She recognized the hijab, the style of dress, a Muslim girl. For a moment she stood frozen. Every instinct screamed at her to walk away. This girl's people had destroyed everything, had killed her neighbors, had sent her running into the forest like an animal. But then she looked at the girl's face, young, terrified, in pain, and saw not an enemy, but a child. A harvest of love, her father's voice whispered in her memory. Without a word, Martha knelt down. The girl flinched, but Martha's hands were gentle as she examined the injured leg, broken or badly sprained. The cuts on her arms and face looked like they came from thorns, or perhaps from an animal.
Menene sunenki? Aisha. My name na Mama Mata. I'm going to help you. But you are Christian. Yes, and you need help.
She tore a strip from her already ruined wrapper and bound Aisha's leg as best she could. Then, with strength she didn't know she still possessed, she lifted the girl. Aisha was light, too light. She hadn't been eating well. Martha settled the girl's weight across her shoulders and began to walk. Aisha said nothing, but Martha felt her trembling. Whether from pain or fear or cold, she didn't know. It didn't matter. She just kept walking, one foot in front of the other, through the forest, toward whatever lay ahead.
They emerged from the forest near midday. They walked through the village asking questions until, with the help of villagers, they found a displacement camp nearby. Martha saw the camp before she heard it, a sprawling collection of makeshift shelters stretching across a cleared field. Sheets of zinc and plastic tarps held up by sticks and rope. Smoke from cooking fires. The smell of too many people in too small a space. As they got closer, the sounds reached them. Children crying, women arguing, men's voices sharp with frustration. The camp was chaos. Martha's legs were shaking by the time she reached the edge of the camp. She had been carrying Aisha for hours, and her old body was at its limit. She found a tree, a large mango tree that provided some shade, then carefully lowered Aisha to the ground, then collapsed beside her. Around them, the camp churned with desperate activity. 2 women were fighting over a jerry can of water, pulling and shoving while others shouted at them. A man lay on a mat nearby, his face gray with sickness. while a woman, his wife perhaps, tried to get him to drink. Children with distended bellies and hollow eyes sat in the dirt, too tired even to play. Martha closed her eyes, overwhelmed. She had escaped one nightmare only to find another.
Lord Jesus, please do not let this child die in my hands. Please help me, Jesus. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help her. Please, Lord, please.
She prayed with her eyes closed, rocking slightly, the words pouring out in a desperate stream. She didn't know how long she prayed. Time seemed to stop.
Martha. She opened her eyes. An elderly man stood before her. He wore a white caftan, pristine despite the dust and chaos of the camp. His face was kind, deeply lined with age, and his eyes held a warmth that seemed to cut through the despair around them.
How do you know my name?
Martha, listen to me, Martha. At noon, a charity will come. They will bring food, clothing, and medical attention for the girl. Do not worry. Help is coming.
Before Martha could respond, he held out a basket. Inside were several pieces of bread, still warm, and a bottle of clean water.
Eat. You need your strength.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Are you one of the doctors here?
But when she looked up, the man was already walking away, his white caftan bright against the drab colors of the camp. She watched him disappear into the crowd, then looked down at the basket in her hands. The bread was fresh, soft. She broke off a piece and ate it, and it was the most delicious thing she had ever tasted. She drank some water, then gently roused Aisha.
Here, eat.
Aisha ate slowly, her eyes never leaving Martha's face. They sat together under the mango tree, sharing the bread and water, while the chaos of the camp swirled around them. And Martha felt, for the first time since the attack, a small measure of peace. At noon, exactly as the man had said, a convoy of vehicles arrived at the camp, white trucks with logos on the side, an international charity organization. Volunteers poured out, carrying boxes of supplies, setting up tables, calling for order. Martha watched in amazement as they organized quickly and efficiently. Within minutes, they had established a medical station, and Martha carried Aisha to it. A young woman in a vest marked volunteer examined Aisha's leg, cleaned her wounds, gave her antibiotics and pain medication. Another volunteer brought them new clothes, simple dresses but clean and whole, and packages of food. They showed them a mobile station where she and Aisha had a shower.
Thank you so much. Please, I must thank the senior doctor who told us you are coming. The elderly man in the white kaftan, where is he?
What elderly man?
The one who told me you would come at noon. He gave me bread and water. He knew my name.
Ma, we don't have any senior doctor with us. And we didn't know we were coming here ourselves until a few hours ago.
What do you mean?
I mean, we got here miraculously. Here, you can ask the supervisor yourself. Excuse me, sir. Mama here is asking how we got the camp.
Ah, yes. How we got here was nothing short of a miracle. We were supposed to go to a village about 50 kilometers from here. But when we got to the river crossing, the bridge was flooded. The stream had overflowed from the rains last week. We couldn't cross, so we came here instead. Even the camp officials didn't know we were coming. We just showed up.
No one told you to come here.
No one, Mama. It was just circumstances, the flooded stream. We had to go somewhere, and this camp was closest.
Martha sat down slowly, her mind reeling. The man had known. He had known they would come at noon. He had known her name. And now the volunteers were saying that no one had planned this, that it was just chance, just circumstances. But Martha knew better. She had lived long enough to recognize the hand of God when she saw it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Over the next few days, as Aisha's leg healed, Martha cared for her. They stayed under the mango tree, which became their small territory in the crowded camp. Martha shared her food with Aisha, told her stories, sang to her when the girl woke crying from nightmares. One evening, as the sun was setting and the camp was settling into its uneasy nighttime routine, Martha finally asked the question she had been avoiding.
Aisha, where's your family?
Dead. All of them.
In the attack on Angpa?
Yes. My father, he was one of the herdsmen. He took me with him that night. He said to me, Aisha, Angpa is no longer safe. Pack up our things, let's go. But I was stubborn. I did not want to leave Angpa. I had many friends and I did not want to move again. He rebuked me sternly. Aisha, pack now, we do not have time. I should have listened to him. Then the other men started burning the village. My father tried to stop them. He said it was wrong, that we should live together in peace with the people of Angpa. They shot him. They shot him right in front of me. Then I ran. I ran into the forest to hide, but I saw everything. I saw too much. In the bushes, a wild dog attacked me. I thought I would die there. I wanted to die there. My father is dead. My mother died 2 years ago. I have no one.
Martha pulled the girl close, holding her as she sobbed. She thought of her own losses, her home, her possessions, her sense of safety. But at least she had her children, somewhere out there in the world. Aisha had no one.
Karkaikoka, you have me now. I will be your mama.
What?
You have me. I will be your mother now, if you want.
But I am Muslim. You are Christian. Your people and my people.
You are a child who needs a mother. I am a mother who needs a child.
You do that? After what my people did to your village?
You did not burn my village. Evil men did. Men who have forgotten what it means to be human. You are not responsible for their sins. You are a child. Now you are my child.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama.
You are my child now. A child does not say thank you for her mother's love. It is simply given freely because that is what love does.
1 year later, Martha sat on a wooden stool in front of a small hut, not in the displacement camp, but in Ugbede, a neighboring village. The hut was simple but solid, with a good roof and a door that locked. She had a small garden where she grew tomatoes and okra. She had 7 new sheep. And she had a telephone, a gift from Ugbede when he finally found her 6 months after the attack. Ugbede had accepted Aisha immediately, as had Ochanya. They sent money for her school fees, called her their sister, treated her as family. She was talking to him now, the phone pressed to her ear.
Yes, I am well. The rains have been good this year. The farm is doing, we shall have some bean soup and pounded yam when next you come.
And Aisha, how is my sister?
She is well, working hard. She wants to be a doctor, you know.
I know, Mama. You tell me every time we talk. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you.
Of Aisha, yes. But me, there's nothing to be proud of. I only did what Jesus asked me to do.
No, Mama. You did what few people would do. You loved when it would have been easier to hate.
They talked for a few more minutes, exchanging news, making plans for Ugbede's next visit. When Martha finally ended the call, she sat for a moment, looking at the phone in her hand. Such a small thing, but it connected her to her children. It reminded her that she was not alone.
Mama? Mama?
Martha looked up to see Aisha running toward her, her volunteer vest bright against her dark skin. The girl was 16 years now, taller, stronger, her leg fully healed. She had been volunteering at the medical clinic in the settlement, learning, helping, preparing for the day when she could go to medical school. Aisha reached Martha and threw her arms around her, breathless with excitement.
Mama, I helped so many people today. There was a woman who came in with her baby, and the baby had a fever, and I knew exactly what to do because of what the nurses taught me. And there was an old man with broken foot that needed wrapping, and I did it all by myself. And the nurse said I did a perfect job.
Martha's heart swelled with pride.
That's good, Aisha. That's very good. Now go inside and get some rest. You've been working all day.
Okay, Mama. But Mama, there's something I have been meaning to speak with you about.
Yes, my child.
Can you tell me about Jesus?
Martha felt her breath catch. In the months they had been together, Aisha had never asked this question. Martha had never pushed, never tried to convert her. She had simply loved her, cared for her, and lived out her faith openly. But now Aisha was asking. A wrinkled smile spread across Martha's face, deep and genuine.
Of course, my baby. I will tell you about Jesus. But first, do something for me. Go inside and get me that basket, the one filled with grains of wheat.
Aisha looked puzzled but went into the hut as instructed, and Martha sat back on her stool, looking up at the sky. It was late afternoon and the light was golden, the same light that had filled her father's church in her dream. She thought of all that had happened, the terror of that night, the loss, the fear, the pain. She thought of the man in the white caftan, the mysterious provision, the impossible timing. She thought of Aisha, a Muslim girl who had become her daughter, who was now asking about Jesus. A grain of wheat, her father had said. It falls to the ground and dies, but then it produces a harvest. Martha had fallen. She had lost everything. She had died to her old life. But here, now, the harvest is coming.